Hello, everyone. Welcome to Starkage. I'm your host, Prince, and with me is Astroverted.
Yo, what's up?
We also have Crimson
Boy, howdy.
and Dr. Oatmeal. This is
As always, man.
Had to. Gotta do it.
third or fourth time.
Gotta do it to them. Maybe we should all do that now.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right.
What do we have on the agenda today?
Today we have two topics. I don't know if we want to split them up to make it a surprise or what, but we got AR and VR. I'm
Kind
not.
of interrelated, but still very different from each other, you know?
Yeah, I'm not too knowledgeable about this, so I'm probably gonna be quiet most of the episode. Some people are probably like, "Thank God."
No.
Yeah, Princess, that guy's my least favorite.
Yeah.
I hate this man.
Put some respect on his name.
Least person voted to be pegged.
Ever since they heard that you're based off that anime.
It's curtains for me, boys. I ain't seen the light.
Oh, man.
All right, who wants to start this off? Because I am not starting this.
Fair enough. Pedro, do you want to start us off here? Since
Yeah,
I think you're the most knowledgeable.
I don't know
Yeah, I
if
believe
most
Pedro's the most
knowledgeable
knowledgeable.
is the right word. I don't know.
Out
if
of the
most
three of
knowledgeable,
us.
but-
Most knowledgeable pertaining to this content.
So, I guess let's just get get the definitions out of the way.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a good start.
So,
Good
AR
start,
is augmented reality, like a heads-up display in a video game. Anybody play Dead Space out here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a long. It's been like
it's
a
been a
long
long
time
time.
ago.
But how you can project like the little arrows of where to go in front of you, and you can see your ammo in front of you, and it's overlaid onto the real world, or rather the world that's supposed to be real.
yeah,
That's augmented reality, kind of like the scanners in Dragon Ball Z. So, virtual reality is a simulated experience, kind of like augmented reality, but the display totally encompasses the area that you're in. There's no real area being overlaid on top of. The area around you gets like repackaged by
yeah.
near eye
It affects
displays.
And it affects like all perceptions, right? Like
Yeah,
or
yeah,
all of our senses.
yeah. Hearing, sight, simulated touch, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because there's haptic suits that can simulate touch. There's treadmills that can simulate like actual spatial motion. All types of stuff. So those are the two topics here. We have heads-up displays like having, your GPS display on your windshield. What would life be like there? There's probably some equipment out there that could do that. And then of course VR, like the Oculus and the HTC Vive and stuff like that, the consumer products that we're so used to. And then there's the AR that the military uses, like the head tracking turrets on Black Hawk helicopters.
Ooh, yeah.
You know? And then there's also what I would assume to be unassisted VR, which is the dreams that you have at night. I doubt we'll touch on that. Let's just focus on.
I guess the question I have, like, following up that real
Yeah.
quick, because like VR is virtual reality. What
Yeah.
what would be classified as virtual then?
So the simulated experience Virtual has had the meaning of being something in essence or effect, though not actually or in fact. The term virtual has been used in the computer sense of not physically existing but made to appear by software since the 50s.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So that's the breakdown of virtual. And we might want to save like a definition, hard line definition of reality for our meaning of life episodes. Plug.
Plug.
Shameless plug.
That was a great
But-
episode.
It was. Might have to revisit that, but I guess as a working definition of reality, the real world. You poke me, I bleed. And also watching something in slow motion like a car accident and seeing flowers bloom and it raining on Saturdays. Real reality that we have every day, including the traffic and the achievements. That augmented experience being as like a blanket, like a veil, but then the virtual experience being more opaque.
Which I also like the concept of like the idea that we're like actively living in a simulation, in something that is reality, is our reality, but isn't like the same reality that previous people in the past had lived.
Right.
Like, because we live in a very modern society, and it's just extremely different from how things were without technology and before, concepts of, big companies and, just rule like hands on the ground, farming and living off the land and just surviving. Like it's probably the most natural reality that
Living
we
in
can have,
tribes.
but we don't live in that anymore.
No.
So it's like, yeah, we live in a different simulation in a sense, but not at all the same as, I guess, what we naturally would.
Mm-hmm.
We live in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, literally. But a way
Yeah.
more subtle version.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up at some point too, because like when, because of the Matrix was just brought up just now as well, that like this concept, and I know it probably exists in many other like philosophies and religions as well, but it's a very common one in Buddhism, and like how it perceives the reality that we're currently living in as an illusion.
Yeah. Maya, right?
And yeah, I think it's Maya, or yeah, I tried looking this up. I took a Buddhism class a couple years ago, but now I've forgotten everything. But it's like either Maya or I think Maya's suffering maybe, and then samsara or something like that. Samsara is the illusion, but I'm not too sure on all that. But it's an interesting concept, and that's apparently, I was looking this up too. Apparently, when they made the Matrix, one of the consultants that they have was a Buddhist. They had a Buddhist consultant. So the
I
movie is
got-
like actually heavily impacted by the idea of Buddhism.
I didn't
Pretty
know
cool.
that they had a consultant. Yeah. I looked up Maya.
According to Reddit, but
Yeah, source, sweet and sour source.
Trust me, bro.
cite your sources.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah. I made it up. The Maya is the supernatural power wielded by the gods and demons to produce illusions.
Okay, so yeah, I guess you're right. That was the correct one.
And then I think samsara is the cycle of birth and death.
Yes, that's what it is. The reincarnation.
Yeah, the cycle
Yeah,
of death
yeah.
and rebirth, which life in the material world is bound.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good correction there. Good save.
Yeah, I mean we were close.
Close enough, yeah.
So I guess to kind of give our conversation a little bit more direction here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like how in general do we feel about like, I guess if we want to focus on, I guess it doesn't matter which one we do.
Yeah.
But like for like AR, like how do we feel about it? Because there can be good and there can also be bad, like you were saying. Because like, you know, I feel like probably head tracking from what was it, the
Blackhawks. Yep.
Black Hawk, the Blackhawks. Yeah, I feel like
The black white.
damn, I can't speak.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Please, for the love of God, enunciate.
I'm just struggling to speak today in general. Like I'm like stuttering over my words. But the Blackhawks. Like I feel like. Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My man has broke me now.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
I wasn't even thinking that way.
Yeah, I was hoping no one would think that way, but
I had
that is
to.
how it went.
I
All
had
right.
to. You knew I was going to.
And this is why you're the least favorite.
He just wrapped me into it too.
Factual.
Oh, man.
I was saying that there's a very bad direction with it where it's like, you know, we're using it to, you know, kill people, you know, whether it's for, you know, the defense of a country or something much worse than that, or, you know, it could be used in like everyday life and be like super helpful.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe it'd be a lot easier for people whenever this is a little bit more imaginative here, but like, I don't know, using a heads-up display for like simply going grocery shopping, just having a list that's always there, that's in your vision, and like you can look at items and just see how much they are, and like, you know, just like it could make things a lot more convenient too, but
Like a
Or the
heads-up
tracker,
display
like-
that like looks at the stuff on the shelf and tells you if you're allergic to it or not.
ooh, okay,
Yeah. I was gonna say something with health as well, like keeping track of your vitals, and like you know, keeping track of your diet as well.
In
So there's
like
yeah.
not like in a perfect world, but in a place where there's no limitations, like when they make video games, the heads-up display is probably one of the most helpful tools that a developer can give the player.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's good information.
You know, or like a mini map. Think of all the
Yeah.
games that don't have mini maps, and you're like, please, for the love of God.
That is fair. I think a big thing for me though is I'd be, if it came to like using things like, I don't know, Google Glasses or something like that. I don't like, I feel like I'd be very worried about you know, for example, our phones are kind of always listening to what we're saying.
Yeah.
I would be very worried about what data is being collected and how it's being used. Because I feel like a lot of people will sign off on, you know, terms and agreement without reading it. I think the vast majority of people do that, including myself.
Yeah. I ain't got time to read all that
Just
shit.
There's a lot of words.
Yeah,
A lot
definitely.
a lot of legal
agreeing to
legal
terms
talk
and
too.
condition. Yeah.
Yeah, like
And if it
Snoozeville.
becomes something that's like so heavily incorporated into our society where it's like everyone has one, you know, it's like you're kind of going to be signing off to whatever without reading too much into it, you know, like a lot of people allow for their phones to listen to what they're saying and don't realize it. Like there's a reason why whenever, you know, you say like, hey Siri or hey Google, there's a reason why it activates as soon as you say that, because it's always listening.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like, I feel like that could be really concerning if it's like something that's very heavily incorporated into our lives and we're just like so used to it that it's like, well, I can't be without it. So whatever the agreement is, I'll say yes to it.
Right. So, I guess to alleviate that, you would just get like open source equipment and grassroots community based software, and then you would completely avoid the proprietary terms and conditions of, say, like Google or Apple, just because they released their version of something that we could all have with enough backend. Because there is there is the future is out there, at our fingertips. AR glasses from the store are $250 about, depending on which one you get. You know,
Yeah.
an FPV drone is about the same, depending on which one you get. Maybe a little bit more if you want like a better controller.
Isn't it
So-
like cheaper than a modern console right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure is. So
Might be cheaper than games in the future too.
yeah, we could have little drones with cameras following us around, recording our every action, and then we could also have AR glasses. There's a book that I read called Up Against It. Let me get the writer's name because that's like worth having. And what happens in that book is like a lot of stuff happens, but without giving away too many spoilers. The colony on an asteroid has sold the rights to their airspace basically to this reality TV show that sends these little drone bugs all over the place and records everything. So their entire life is like a reality TV show to Earth.
Whoa, what an interesting concept.
And
That's really interesting.
that is just
Hold on, I love that. That's great.
and that's that's how they get some of their government stipends to get hydrogen ice and methane ice in order to survive. And then
Wow.
like there's a sabotage plot and a hostile takeover plot being orchestrated by the Martian mafia, and blase blase blah, no more spoilers. This book is worth reading. But
Well,
to
I
have
already have my interest.
yeah, but to have your life be a reality TV show for some other population really just cements the whole like living in a simulation thing because your conditions are being orchestrated.
Yeah.
Insane, but that is a very interesting plot.
I think you
Yeah.
guys are like the Truman Show.
I love the Truman Show.
Yeah, the Truman Show goes crazy.
It does.
Laura J. Mixon is the author of Up Against It.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely
man.
sounds like
I have to check that out.
Yeah.
definitely sounds like it'd be worth checking out.
Oh, sent the
But-
Google link and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you did say that to like you're saying that to like alleviate my point, right?
Yeah.
But so God, I don't remember what it's called now. What was I think it was a bill or something was passed after 9/11 to where
Oh,
the government
yeah.
willingly can
I can't
pretty
remember if it
much-
was PIPA SOPA or the Patriot Act.
Patriot Act. That's what it is.
Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
See, like that is still gonna stand, and that would make me a little bit more concerned.
Oh yeah, because if
think,
you have like
yeah.
unlicensed software and hardware, you're considered a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, well, that, and then also like, I mean, they pretty much have access to really most of our social media chats, and we have like a lot of things that we search and view online.
I hope my FBI agent has a good sense of humor.
Just
I
putting
mean,
that
but
out there right
that's-
now.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why the joke's around about like, oh, my FBI agent,
Yeah.
yeah, like that. It's that act, I
Right.
mean, I know you know this already, but
I hope my
mean-
agent likes Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah. If they don't, that
he's
would be
gonna
a
see a lot
bummer.
of that.
If they're gonna give me like an FBI profiler, they better like chess. They better like jokes about chess. Because if not, they're going to be just bored as hell at work, and I don't want to do that to somebody. You
It's
know?
been 48 hours. He keeps looking at chess.
Right. But to answer your question, I would like augmented reality in my glasses. I've been wearing glasses since I was in grade school. To have a heads-up display, I've already see, some people would have to get used to having something on their face all day. I've already gotten used to that. I've worn contacts for years too. I wouldn't mind fucking augmented reality contacts. I'd go crazy. Are you kidding? That would be buck
I think
wild, bro. That would be like we'd be living in cyberpunk.
I mean, I was gonna say it just replaced my eyes, so I don't have to wear anything.
Ooh, he's trying to
Yeah,
get
cyber.
he's trying to get some chrome.
Yeah, it's time to chrome the fuck up.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk is another.
It's a really good, really good
I
game.
love the game
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
love the show, but oh man, that whole concept of that universe is very it's scary to me.
Scary because it's so possible.
Yeah, very likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
How we're like in the
And-
bad timeline and we don't have Harambe anymore. And we don't have that lion from Zimbabwe that got shot on the reservation. Yeah.
We really are in the bad timeline.
I want to be Johnny, please.
Oh man.
I wonder,
yeah,
out of the
I
three
mean-
of you guys, who would be stuck with me?
If you were Johnny,
Yeah, if I was Johnny, who would want
That's
to
a
be?
good
Who would
question.
want me in their head 24/7?
well, me.
I'd do it.
Yeah, are you kidding? Yeah.
I'll do it for free.
Yeah, for free.
I'll pay you. In fact,
All right, we're gonna have to copy this drive 3 times.
Yeah. I'd keep you on a USB stick.
But yeah, no, Cyberpunk it's like, in a way, it's kind of a scary game to me because
Yeah.
like it's just the concept of it is like, yeah, it's very possible, and there's definitely points where it can get too far. Like, I mean, you can, like go on to like modify, your body into the point that you're like more mechanical
Mm-hmm.
and in metal than you are like anything organic. And yeah,
Right.
it's like, I mean, that's like, I guess that's a little scary to me. And then also it's like, I don't know, I just feel like the like reality that like if we were living in a society like that, that would be the reality for like during that time. But like to me, I just feel like that's so far removed from reality that it's like,
yeah, like all the
That's just
company
scary.
wars. It's no longer
yes, the company
it's not-
wars.
It's not even a war against other countries. It's a war between companies.
Yeah, that's
I think
another.
that's
Yeah,
really terrifying.
that is very, very terrifying. Yeah, I forgot about that part. That's a really big part too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's called the corporal wars,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I love Cyberpunk though, and I do love the concept of like, yeah, companies becoming so powerful that they are the government essentially.
Well,
Very dystopic.
well.
Wow.
You know,
I mean,
that's also kind of what the
that-
church did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also kind of how it is right now.
So yeah, that's why I kept going well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, every company has their hands in the government, and that's why we have a horrible like I mean, we just sacrifice people's healths for it. I mean, like our like the food in the U.S. is extremely out of hand. It's extremely unhealthy. That's why
Has
the
been for
majority of the
decades.
population, the majority of the population's, vast majority of the population's overweight, and then the majority of that is obese, and then we have like super high like heart attack, stroke, and cancer rates as well. And it's our food companies that pay off a lot of money to for bills to stay in effect or for bills to pass, and it keeps them powerful and keeps us consuming things that are just killing us, that we're very addicted to.
Yeah, and they produce something like the food pyramid.
Yep, and then like it's also like intentional that we're not really educated very well on nutrition and that part of our health in school. Like the food plate. I don't know if anyone remembers that from like elementary, but that's
No,
that is not.
never had that one.
I don't think I did either.
Or it was like, was it my plate or my food plate, something like that. But it's like, oh, you need these things, and it's like, well, you don't really need dairy. You don't really need like meat in every meal. Like, you don't need all this stuff. And then it's like, we really should be eating a hell of a lot more fruits and vegetables than what we do.
Which I'm gonna loop this back like a little bit. I feel like that could be used, like that misinformation can really be abused in augmented reality.
Yes.
Like, so let's say for like health, they could tell you like, hey, this product has this stuff in it, and like this stuff is really good for you. You really need this in your diet. You should buy this product. So I feel like that could also be
like
a
when
reality.
like when cigarettes were advertising and they'd be like, doctors approve of Lucky Strikes.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I mean, if we leave it in the hands of companies, I just don't foresee. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of positive things with augmented reality, but I think there's going to be some of those bad things that come along with it as well. Because I was just thinking about this earlier. Like, another thing that'd be nice about augmented reality is that, like, when you get a new prescription for your eyes, you don't need to get new lenses. They could just do that for you, right? Like, it could just change on the spot.
Ooh, yeah.
So it can just, like, magnify it for you. Or, like, maybe it can automatically do it. Or you can see further away.
Yeah.
You can have, like, a Hawkeye vision.
Ooh. Yeah, I see what you mean.
A what vision? No.
Oh, my God.
Look, there's two hawks.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh my god.
So,
Yeah, we're mature.
What's
Very mature.
what about your thoughts, Chris? What are your thoughts on augmented reality? You're trying to stay quiet, but I'm not gonna let you.
All right. Well, I mean, I think it's cool. Like you said, if put in the wrong hands, greed will be pretty much on the rise, and that won't be good. But I don't know. I'd like to have the benefit of the doubt that maybe it would help a lot medically,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
It can go that direction, too.
Like,
Yeah,
it could
there
be a
could be,
really
like,
big benefit, but
Doctors with
it's,
augmented reality.
yeah, to help
They would-
perform like the surgery better and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's true too.
But
Yeah, it also would be like, oh god, sorry.
I was just gonna say real quick, but it's like it's really easy for this to be used not in the greatest way, like for
Hell
more
no.
selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my main concern would definitely be government surveillance and also data harvesting. Like, I'd be really concerned about those two things.
Yeah.
I think I'm most concerned about the misinformation.
I love spreading misinformation.
It's my favorite pastime.
Yeah, I would say my greatest concern would probably be over reliance.
Yeah.
That too, yeah.
I mean,
And
we're already
it's-
doing that with our phones.
Exactly. You know.
Yeah, I was thinking about using that as an example of like, whenever I was mentioning earlier, like it could be something that's so incorporated or so ingrained in our society that like it's just weird to not have it, and that would be like a mobile cell phone. Like,
Yeah.
Like, we use that for everything.
I'd be fucked without my phone. Like, it's curtains for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that comes with the issue of like we already have this issue with our phones and like TikTok and all that other stuff, but it's like overstimulation,
Yeah.
which we already have an issue with, and I think that's going to be potentially accelerated with augmented reality.
Yeah. But
I mean, like, I'm sure people have thought like about this with past technologies and like how it's going to ruin this or, you know, do this. And while it did like change quite a bit, it didn't necessarily, in a sense, ruin anything quite. But yes, there's like bad things that come with it and there's good things that come with it. So it's usually like, typically it's a balance, but usually leans towards more over one thing than the other.
yin yang.
Yin and yang.
I mean, I would say. I mean, I don't know if you're talking specifically about phones or not, but I would say that the modern lifestyle that we do live is ruining the planet. I mean, it's not.
Well, yeah, there's
ruining
that
our comfort at the moment, but
I mean, you can honestly think of the Industrial Revolution for that one too.
right.
So
That out.
gotta pull that card out.
Yeah.
Uno reverse. How do you like that? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I definitely agree with that notion that like there is the real issue of like us like taking materials away from the earth and destroying it and damaging it.
Yeah.
For our, you know, lifestyle which is not very efficient, I would say.
No.
And I think there are better ways to go about how we live our lifestyles now, but maybe we'll explore that in the future with better technologies. But one can hope.
I just looked up AR in video games and Pokemon Go came up. That's like, it's been a minute since I played that game.
Ooh. Yeah, I never
Yeah,
really
that-
got into that. Not gonna front.
That would be
but
pretty. I'm not gonna lie, that would be
where-
pretty cool.
I mean,
You get to be a real Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
can't you? Or like, yeah, like you could just turn on your like camera and they'll be like, oh, the Pokemon's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine in public just someone just like throwing their arm like crazy?
I mean, there's that guy that's walking around with all that VR stuff on and augmented reality stuff on in Lane.
I was fucking waiting for you to mention Lane ever
Yeah.
since the beginning. Like, I'm like, how long are we gonna get into this episode before you mention Lane? 'Cause
32 minutes. We got
Yeah.
it 32 minutes into an episode about AR and VR
New
before-
record.
Before I mentioned Lane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think me and you are the only ones that actually finished Lane.
Yeah. I watched every single morsel of that. That was delicious.
It was.
He's
it
licking
was
his
very
fingers.
good.
Yeah. It was scrumptious.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, deadass. For real.
I think Pokemon Go is another good example though of like when it can go bad too, because didn't they get into some legal trouble with like tricking people, or not tricking people, but like getting people to go into dangerous places so that they could get data using their camera to map out the area.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
wasn't there people
Yeah.
that set
Yeah,
up
that was a thing.
Pokestops? They can set up Pokestops and then rob you.
Set up
Yeah.
Pokestops and then rob you? It's a six
Yeah,
animal
Something like that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the-
Yeah, no.
people
We take something good
yeah.
and we got to do something bad with it. But I'm more focused on the corporate side of it when they're using people for data so that they can
Yeah.
map out areas.
That's wild.
But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they got in legal trouble for that, but there was definitely some confirmation that was something they were doing.
I
I
think
think they did get in trouble.
yeah, I think they got in trouble, and then like they added in the game, watch your surroundings.
Watch your surroundings. Don't get
That'll save us
robbed.
from another $1 million lawsuit.
It really is like that though.
Genius.
Woo.
That was a
Oh,
close
man.
one.
We covered all of our bases.
Wow.
But yeah. So
But
that's a fun one there.
that's one perspective to look at it, but like it did get people to go out more and like socialize more.
It did.
We outside.
That is true.
And that's something we're missing. And I think in like current day life, and so like that's why I say there's always a balance to stuff. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
But you know,
I do
it's
think
it's one of those things you have to look at where you're like look at what you're sacrificing in order to get what you're gaining. So you got to weigh it out.
Yeah. That is one thing about, because like with Pokemon Go, that is like a good example of why AR can be like awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a good mixture of technology, but also, I guess, reality, like real life, getting people to actually still make genuine connection, or just even like be physical. Like that's super good for your physical health. And if that's something that AR can support, you know, like this is VR, so this is like another example where VR can be good as well. Similar thing, like Beat Saber. I know a lot of people use Beat Saber for their VR headsets, like as an actual like workout, because you're really physical, and there's actually a lot of people that use that to stay active and lose weight, but you know they still get to be inside their, you know, conditioned apartments or whatever. Which, like, it's better to go outside still, but you know, it's still, if it can benefit your health and, you know, something really fun and it makes being active fun for you, then, you know, that's a really good benefit to that.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because I debated on getting a VR headset solely because of Beat Saber and the appeal of, I love the game, and I also love that it wears me out. Like it's like exhausting because it's active, but it's fun.
I still want to try it. I haven't played it yet. I really would like to.
It's so much fun.
I've like put on a single VR headset and looked around a room and then like got motion sick or something, and so I just took the headset off. I've actually never really worn a VR headset for any real length of time.
Yeah, it takes a minute to get used to, but
yeah, it is a little weird.
It is, the weirdest part of it is when you take it off. When you're like wearing it for like a few hours and you're like, you know, you're being active. Whenever you take it off, you're like, oh my god, this is like, you become so well adjusted to VR. Like it's a weird experience when you finally take it off and you're like, oh shit, okay, yeah, the real world looks quite a bit different. Like it just becomes so normal to you in a very short amount of time. Because it just genuinely changes your perception of reality for while you have it on.
Right.
It's crazy how adaptive our minds are. Like it gets used to that so quick. I mean, it's literally what it's designed to do, though. It's supposed to adapt to its, you know, situation and environment. So, but that really shows like that in full display. But yeah,
the only thing it's missing is the only thing it's missing is like synthetic smells. It makes me sorry. It made me laugh because I was thinking about that the Nintendo 2 ad, the fake one that came out.
I don't know this.
Yeah. That one was funny. It's like, someone made a joke with it, and it was like a joke ad, and it was like, oh, it's like it finally has these features, and then the point where people were like, oh, this is fake, like where a lot of people realized it was fake is whenever they had like this, I don't know if they call it smell-o-vision or something like that, but they like in the video it's like it shows like, I think it was like Peach or Daisy or something lifting up her arm, and it was just like it was very obvious. So it was like
oh my god.
Yeah.
Give me a Nintendo Switch 2 right now. Give me a Nintendo Switch 2 right now.
Oh, so that's why it's $80 per game.
But
it's worth every cent.
The smell-o-vision.
But that's the one thing we're missing, but I'm sure something will come around for that.
I will be very fucking scared when that smell feature becomes a thing, especially in VR chat.
Oh god.
Because you know the type of people that play VR chat. That like
you have to go,
take it too seriously.
Yeah, they have to they have like a certain chat just for like the people that shower, the people that don't shower.
Oh my god.
This is discrimination.
Yeah, you got the.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm sure every once in a while you're just gonna get a whiff of what I think anyone would imagine a Magic the Gathering tournament smells like.
Oh,
Or Smash Bros. What is it? Tournament? Like,
The Smash Bros. Tournament, yeah.
yeah. Apparently those are bad too.
Princess, it's 5:00. It's time for you to fart on my face.
I knew that was coming, man.
It had to happen.
I
So
like how
I
you're
think,
like at the start. You're like, I'm not gonna talk much, but
Well, we're
drop,
at the VR
dropping
section.
bombs like this.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
at the VR section.
I can say a
Yeah.
little bit more about VR. I know a little bit about VR.
Yeah,
Not
yeah, that's fair.
great things, obviously. But there's some things.
you have one?
It's fair.
What?
A VR headset?
I do. I think it's the fuck. The Outcast
Okay.
or Quest 2, something like that.
Okay. How do you like it?
It's pretty good. I can't really use it because the space I have is too small, and you need like a spacious area.
Spacious.
I mean, I could probably make it like a small circle, but I like to move around. I don't
That's
want to
fair.
like punch things, knock things over.
Why not?
Yeah,
Destroy
things
some
cost
property while
money.
you're at it.
Yeah.
Oh, since
That's
when?
like my stuff.
Come on. That's fair. It's like you need like a whole room dedicated to it.
Yeah.
You do need a lot of space.
Don't really have the space. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Very soon, yes.
But yeah, I wanted
yeah.
to play like Beat Saber. I want to try like the Resident Evil in VR. Those would be fun.
Ooh.
I'd definitely
Yeah,
play
that'd
a
be-
lot of horror games.
Oh god, dude. That'd be so it'd be so scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a couple of those that are out that are really good, apparently.
Yeah.
I feel like phasmophobia. Whenever you see that ghost, like a ghost of some kind running towards you, it's just like you can't move fast enough.
Oh my god.
And, you know, they're just barely faster than you, and you're like, oh man.
Can I throw hands with the ghost?
There's got to be some games out there that let you.
Or like some mod at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Repo VR.
Ooh. Now we're talking.
That wouldn't be too bad.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think we'd be exhausted from all the running and stuff.
Yeah, and all the ducking and hiding under stuff.
Yeah, just like sitting in a
up
crouched
and
position
down.
for a long time. That'd be exhausting.
I bet you could like dodge the huntsman a lot easier though.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only VR experience that I've ever had, I think, was like one of the Oculus Rifts. It was one of my friends had it, and like I think it was like still kind of on the newer side of things. Like I mean, the VR was like new-ish, and I played one of the games, and it was like a room, and every time you look away and look back, like the room changes a little bit, and eventually gets to a point where it's like you're just like sitting in the chair, like up above the clouds kind of thing. And like I have a fear of heights, so like that really messed with me.
Oh my god.
But it was really, yeah, it was cool though, but it made me like, because I have a fear of heights, you know, it's like a phobia, so like it makes you feel a certain way, and I had that feeling even though it wasn't real, and but it was still messing with my perceptions to still trick my brain to thinking that like, hey, you're in a really high place right now. So it was like, even though I have a fear of heights, like it gets your adrenaline pumping a lot, so it still feels like it's like fun
Yeah.
in a weird way. But yeah, it's like it was a crazy experience, and it's like just did not expect that to impact me as much as it did. But that's my only experience with VR headsets of any sort. But I would definitely like to play Beat Saber at some point as well.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you get to experience a VR chat room. Why not? See what the fuss is about.
Right.
The VR e-sex.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Is that any good?
Does anyone have an experience?
Let's just say
Yeah,
this
how's that
one time, my router exploded.
Remember how I told my FBI agent I hope he likes Shadow?
That's between me and him.
Your FBI agent's not gonna be
PC
different.
parts a few years ago.
Oh man. Why the
I
PC
think-
parts?
I think VR would be pretty good in like a, I don't know, like a medical situation.
Yeah. I can
How
see
so?
Like so let's say this I don't know, I'll give this an example. Like this person's like on their, deathbed. They can't really move, but they want to do stuff like maybe putting like
I
a
was thinking
VR
about this
headset
too.
onto them might be good for them,
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
for terminal anxiety.
Yeah.
VR headset with like a little bit of mushrooms.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
You know what I
Probably go
mean? Like
wild.
maybe like 4Gs of psilocybin cubensis in a VR headset. But you're like 92.
Flatline
yeah,
right then and there.
I think there's a
Flat
there's a
line.
lot there's a lot of good that could be used for it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Education and teaching kids and stuff. Like have kids put
Yeah.
on VR headsets and then like one teacher can be projected to all those headsets.
Yeah, and
or
then
like practice too for like doctors, like people who want to be surgeons, do practicing like a simulated surgery.
Yeah, they pull up Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah, I mean like things like that though, where it's
Yeah.
like a lot more interactive. Yeah, education would be a good one. I know that doing something where I think like in schools, like a lot of like public schools have moved away from like doing things like dissecting like
Right.
animals and stuff. I think a lot of that does have to do with the fact that like these sharp things can be used as weapons. I don't think that's like 100% the issue
Well,
with it.
I think
there's
it
more
also
to
might
than
be
just that, but
the animals that they're dissecting too. Like they might be using them too much, like affecting local
Yeah.
ecosystems and stuff like that.
Right.
yeah, and then also there's a lot of people that just have a problem with, which is I get it, but like there's a lot of people that have a problem with like animals being used for demonstrations, like like dissecting and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like it could be used to bring back a lot of helpful things like that.
Yeah,
without
that got
actually
me thinking
damage,
too.
yeah.
Like we can simulate like star formations or galaxy formations and stuff like that, and like you can actually like visually see it and like kind of explore it in the like how you would in real life, but we can't really do that, right?
Mhm.
Like I think that'd be really cool to have like these experiences that we normally can't have, like as a normal like human, right? Like you
I
can
would-
go see a close up of like Jupiter or something. That'd be pretty wild.
See, now you're scratching my itch right now because I will go get a VR headset next payday if they have like a magic school bus thing that you can do. Where you just like ride on the magic school bus and go to like different science adventures.
Fucking what's that one episode where they go inside that one kid?
Yeah. Or they like end up being like fish eggs that get like nutted on.
Oh god, that was
Or when they're like in space and the kid takes his helmet off and just dies.
yo, he did.
Oh my god.
What's the kid's name? Like Arnold's body. Okay, I remember that episode.
Oh
man.
my god.
The callback to the magic school bus. But yeah, no, that'd be pretty awesome. Just like be able to explore in places that we normally couldn't, but like on an individual level, if that makes sense. Like just have a more human perception of it if you're like this small or like downscaled or upscaled.
Right. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Could also be
like
like walking with dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah, and I think it would also like boost like would inspire people and like boost creativity levels.
Yeah.
Because like we can't even see the stars like in the night sky like we used to because of light pollution, and I think that has like hurt our creativity as a population. So having something in its stead, because like I mean it's kind of hard to fix light pollution. I mean we could just have all of our lights off, but that's probably not going to happen.
Right.
And so like having something to cover that'd be pretty nice.
I really hate that I can't see the stars now when I drive at night.
Yeah,
because that shit was such a vibe.
Like, and I still like we probably like. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've still never seen like the Milky Way.
Yeah,
like you can't see that unless you're away from light pollution, and that's
right
on my bucket list. That's like my number one thing I want to see before I pass away. Is like I really want to see the night sky, like how my ancestors did.
Like how it's meant to be seen.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back to our roots.
Go back to our roots. So yeah, I would really love to see that one day, but yeah, like I said, I think it's just really hurt our population's creativity levels, and I think having something that can like help boost creativity and like inspire people, through the use of VR, might be like pretty beneficial.
What some of the disadvantages of VR?
There might be health related ones, I wonder.
There's definitely like probably the motion sickness, the eye strain, headaches,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like what's the long term use gonna look like? Like what is that gonna do to a human body? Because I mean like screens already affect your eyesight. Yeah. So like what is VR gonna do to that? It'll be definitely interesting. I think there's like gonna be like a lot of health related issues that we're not really aware of right now, and we won't know until it's been used for a while.
I mean, I think the most concerning one, at least like regular users of like VR, it's the social isolation. Because they can like hop on VR chat, but they're not really interacting with like a human being. They're like interacting with like the avatar that the person has, and like these people, like VR chat would be kind of like their job or like their lifestyle. So like when they're in the real world, they're not interacting with people at all. Like they're too afraid to, or they just don't want to because they'd rather do it in VR chat.
Yeah, they don't learn like certain social cues.
Yeah.
Right, like micro emotions in people's faces and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They may not even get the right inflection on someone's voice either. If someone has voice augmentation on their mic. I've got that built into one of my mics, but like I rarely use it.
Yeah, I think there's going to be definitely more of a social issue more than probably any of the other issues, if I was to guess.
Aren't all issues social issues?
Social issues is already becoming a thing nowadays.
Yeah, with just the phones, like.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I've just noticed it. Like you could just watch, like you could just people watch, and if you notice if like there's like downtime, and they're out in the public space, they're just gonna get on their phone, and it's not because, it's not always because they want to be entertained. It's just because like. I mean, I do it too. I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, you're like, well, shit. Like, I don't know how to interact in a public space, so I'm just gonna get on my phone as like a defensive mechanism.
Yeah, like this is normal to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a normal person thing. Yeah, then that's the only reason why I get on it. Like, and usually I get off of it because I'm like, oh wait, I have nothing on here. I can't really do anything. But
You
it's
know,
like
like
you
if
just
you
kind
make a
of
cat
feel
feel
awkward there.
awkward, yeah, if you make a cat feel awkward, they'll start grooming themselves.
Really?
They'll just be like, "This is
Oh,
what a cat
interesting.
does," and like lick their hand.
I'm gonna start grooming myself in public.
Yeah,
The
just make
natural
sure it's
conclusion from that.
yourself. Just groom yourself. Don't groom anybody else.
Yep.
Yeah. Woo. Good point. God damn.
What a life lesson.
That's interesting. I didn't know that cats did that though.
Yeah,
I mean, I've
that's-
heard that cats do that when they're like comfortable around you
Yeah,
because they're vulnerable
they
when they groom.
sometimes they'll just like mimic behaviors, you know? And one
Yeah,
of those
I mean,
behaviors is grooming. They won't actually be cleaning themselves. They'll just be like looking like they are.
I feel like that's like a social animal thing. Like, we like to like imitate others' behaviors.
Yeah. Yeah, mirroring, you know? Like when someone shifts their weight or like touches their hair or crosses their arms, while you're talking to
Yeah.
them.
What do you do with your hands?
Yeah, is that simulated behavior then?
That's
or
what
like
I was gonna say. Yeah.
walking in step with somebody and then your legs are lining up,
I mean, it might be
Yeah.
because like it depends who you're hanging out with. Like you change how you act around them.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't want to bring friend group A personality to the friend group B.
Yeah.
Don't want to scare the
Yeah, it's,
hose.
That is that's my Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
Time
Wait,
to scare
what?
the hose.
Really?
Yeah, time to scare the hose. Yeah.
What genre? I have to ask.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the genre.
Gotcha, okay.
That is. I'm probably so proud of that playlist.
I need to give it a listen.
Yeah, give it a whirl.
Might have to start
if I
following you
get
on
scared.
Spotify. Yeah, I
you
was
get
just thinking that
scared,
to see
what
if
is-
I get
what is-
scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens if you get scared?
It's a
I'm scared.
What does it
test.
say about me?
Just gonna scare my friends away. Well, guys, this is the last episode of Starkage.
Yep, we're done.
Yep.
Disbands.
Retiring.
Everyone got scared. That's what happened.
VR is scary. Fucking, like you said, Cyberpunk is scary. Things can be scary and also pretty helpful,
Yeah.
Would you guys chrome the fuck up though? That's my question.
Yeah.
I would, I'd get like,
Yeah.
yeah, I would.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
It's. I've thought about it plenty.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, yeah.
Thinking about them upgrades, but then there's like those monks in Cyberpunk that don't want upgrades.
yeah.
Oh,
I think-
forget about the monks.
I think I'd be the monk. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
I
I'm
would-
I'm
I would
stubborn
upgrade.
and be like, I'm one of those people like I'll work with what I have.
Yeah.
This is what I got, so I'm gonna roll with it. But
The RNG.
I mean, the RG is like a D&D character create. You just roll the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are my stats. This one rolled like shit.
This one's scared of heights.
Yeah,
I
I'm scared
mean,
of heights.
I've told my partner before that if I'm able to get a robotic arm, I'm doing it immediately.
Oh,
Yeah, I
word.
think I'd modify
I mean, it's
arms
fair.
or hands or both.
That's wild.
Want to be out here looking like
What if it gives you Parkinson's?
Parkinson?
Like your brain's misfiring with the robot arm because it's like the first
Ooh.
gen.
That is.
Yeah.
I would definitely
That's a possibility.
want to be late to the game and,
Yeah.
and get like,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
be like, oh, you're just now getting a robotic arm. And I'm like, listen, bro, You got me snickledorfed if you think I'm about to just charge headstrong. That's why all this stuff, not to derail us, but all this stuff with going to Mars, we got to put that on the next podcast topics is going to Mars and how dumb that shit is.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
I'm a anti go to Mars person.
I mean, I think terraforming is kind of a ridiculous notion.
Yeah, no,
But I'll
you're impossible.
Since that's next episode, I'll save it for that episode. I'll say why I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll say why I'm anti. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also have to like raise some pros. You know, it is one of the closest planets. It's not the easiest to get to because it would be easier to get to Venus, actually, than to Mars because you're falling in towards the sun, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, you're like already spoiling the episode. Like, stop talking about it.
He's just teasing it, guys. He's just teasing it.
You just give him a little sample.
Yeah.
You're out here as a Costco worker, be like, sample?
Yeah, real.
Sample?
I'm just handing out little finger food.
I will say, though, with the cyberware, though, I definitely would not be a part of the earlier generations of trying that.
No, bro.
Hell no. I already know how much our bodies tend to reject things like metal, like whenever it comes to piercings. Like our bodies are 100% not going to respond to it well.
Mm-mm.
So
people are already trying to put chips in our brains.
Yeah, people already got chips in their brains.
Yeah.
That's
people already got chips on their body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's wild.
Yeah.
So we're almost there.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
The future
if you got the Eddies.
Yeah, just get the Eddies, dog.
Eddies to chroma.
We're gonna be all right, Chooms.
Yeah. Chrome to the max. He's chrome maxing.
We ain't going flatline.
I was gonna say something about flatlining.
Don't be a gonk.
Speaking in cyberpunk language.
Yeah.
The future is now.
Well, we are at the hour mark.
Yeah, I think we got we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. We already got our next topic for the next episode, so
yeah,
I'm excited.
Scrumptious.
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm glad we're on the same way.
All of us just sharing one brain cell for an hour.
Thank you guys for listening. Please sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this if you also want to get chromed the fuck up. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.